But so I posted this video, and for whatever reason, a couple days later or a day or two later, I get this bizarre comment that is extremely hilarious. So Niko House and the MCSC network says, "You hate Niko? Are you calling him a Nazi because he exposed the fact that you're an actual Nazi?" So this is really funny because now again, I just want to bake this into the cake here. It is possible Niko House shares his login with other people. It is possible, right? I'll say it's possible. Now, why would someone else on the Niko House network go and fucking defend his honor like that? Like, seriously, it's a little bizarre. So what it seems to me is that Niko House forgot to log into his alt account, and he was talking about himself in third person, and it's extremely funny. But again, this guy has been doing this bizarre smear campaign, calling me a Nazi because I was a 4chan poster when I was a teenager, which of course is dumb, it's garbage, but I got out of that shit multiple years ago. Whereas, right, Niko House is a fully grown adult in his 30s, and I want to play this clip. This is him working with Jack Posobiec on an anti-antifa documentary. Now, this is not 5 years ago. This is not 6 years ago. This is not when he's a teenager. This is him as a fully grown, I assume he's in his 30s, that's what he looks like, adult, right? This is an adult going out there saying Antifa are terrorists. Let's watch.
People feel, but no one has really been able to explain why it's confusing for the left. They don't know whether to conflate.
Now, I want to underscore this a little bit. This guy's role, right? This guy's role in this documentary is to be the leftist, right? So Jack Posobiec, who, by the way, again, is a literal neo-Nazi. He works with people like Nick Fuentes and all that shit. He is a literal neo-Nazi, right? He hired Niko House. Niko refers to Jack as his friend, by the way. So Niko is friends with neo-Nazis right now, not 5 years ago, not when he was a teenager, not on anonymous fucking message boards. He is a friend to a neo-Nazi right now. And so his role in this documentary is to hop on and say, I'm a leftist and I hate Antifa too.
Late Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and then of course the Black Lives Matter movement. We're told constantly that Antifa is merely an idea of anti-fascism and not an organization. However, that's antithetical to what the original Antifa actually was. The original Antifa was an organization that sparked from an idea. And so
I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
So again, this guy's argument is that Antifa is an organization and not an idea. And then he says, my supporting evidence of this argument is that the original Antifa was an organization that sparked from an idea. Okay, so Antifa's an organization, it's not an idea, and my evidence is 100 years ago it was an idea that turned into an organization. What? Like,
Antifa exists.
Right? So, like, this guy is, like, already, like, this argument is dumb as hell. But again, this is a movie, right, that was potentially shown to millions of people, probably mostly on the right, to compound their fear and hatred against anti-fascism, right? Like, this guy's calling me a Nazi because I posted awful garbage on a Twitter account with 30 followers when I was a teenager, right? For attention and for the lulz, because I was a dumb motherfucker of a kid, right? Whereas this guy is producing films for millions of people to hate anti-fascism and to equate them with Black Lives Matter. It's bizarre. Let's continue.
Antifa actually was. The original Antifa was an organization that sparked from an idea. And so I feel like when they say that it's not an organization, as if that's something to just celebrate, I feel like
that no one says that. No one ever has celebrated, oh yes, Antifa's not an organization, it's an idea. Oh, yippee, happy day. Like, what? Who has ever done that? Like, what? People are celebrating that Antifa's an idea, not a, like, again, the idea, right, is that anti-fascism is a political ideology. Similarly to how libertarianism is a political ideology, and then there is an organization called the Libertarian Party of the USA, right? One's an organization, one's the idea that funnels and fuels that organization. So, yes, there are organizations that have their first principle of being anti-fascist. Specific cities have chapters, right, of people that congregate and say, we hate fascism. We are going to group up and make sure that our city or our area is safe from the, plague of Proud Boys and other right-wing militias, right? Yes, there are individual organizations that are anti-fascist. That doesn't mean Antifa is an organization. Like, again, words matter. When you say Antifa is an organization, that implies that there is one organization and that they have a monopoly on anti-fascism, which is not the case. Again, you can be a conservative without being a part of the Conservative Party of America. Yeah, that's right. There's a Conservative Party, right? You can be a constitutionalist without being a part of the Constitution Party of the USA. You can be a communist without being a part of the Communist Party of the USA. For this guy to not know that, either one, he's a dumb motherfucker, or two, he is lying in order to propagate far right-wing neo-Nazi propaganda. And again, this isn't 5 years ago. This is literally last summer, as he's a fully grown adult.
Like, that's disingenuous, and it also just makes me question the motives of those who do uplift Antifa. Because as a historian of leftist activism movements from the 50s and the...
Reminder, Niko House, I should have queued this up, but reminder, Niko House was saying Fred Hampton worked with racist Confederates. Not, the young patriots or whatever that just at the time thought that the Confederate flag was their heritage because they've been browbeat about that. And Fred Hampton's first and foremost goal was to de-radicalize them. Not to say let's unify with racists, but to try to de-radicalize racists and get them into a working class movement of anti-racism. That was Fred Hampton's goal. But Niko House says he's a historian. He made this video a couple weeks ago. Not a couple years ago, not 10 years ago, right? Like, he made it a couple weeks ago and it got thousands of views of him saying Fred Hampton worked with white supremacists. That is not true. But again, this guy is a liar, he's a charlatan, and he's a psychological operation.
60s and the 70s, one thing that I do know is that if they were genuinely on the side of the BLM activists that they sometimes protest beside, in other leftists, then they would be being vehemently attacked by all sides of the mainstream media. They would not necessarily...
They have been vehemently attacked by all sides of the mainstream media. Do you not pay attention to the news, Niko? Like, what? They'd be vehemently attacked by all sides. Like, what? Like, they do. Like, do you, like MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News and all those mainstream media were saying Antifa rioters, Antifa rioters, Antifa rioters, BLM rioters and looters. Rioters and looters! Woohoo! Like, what? So this guy is promoting a fan fiction, right, for right-wing audiences to think, oh yeah, MSNBC is pro-Antifa, and that means that they're bad, right? This is a lie, a smear campaign against a political ideology that is against fascism. Again, I debated Niko House like around a month ago. I asked him straight up, are you against fascism? He said, I'm a classical Antifa, whatever the fuck that means, right? But let's move on. Let's move on. This is him. Not 5 years ago, not, 7 years ago, not like when he was a teenager. This is him last week, a week ago, saying Proud Boys and Antifa are the same.
The founder of the Proud Boys is a Fed. I don't think anybody was surprised by that at all. He looks like a narc. I mean, the Proud Boys, I've been saying.
He also said, by the way, the founder of the Proud Boys is a Fed. He's not the founder. Gavin McInnes is the founder, okay? Enrique Tarrio was like the current chairman because Gavin McInnes had to publicly step back because he was too racist and too evil, okay? So again, this guy doesn't even know what the Proud Boys are. So he's spreading misinformation to left-wing people, right? Ostensibly left-wing people, to say, yeah, Proud Boys, well, whatever, the founder, I don't know shit about him, but they're the same as Antifa.
The Proud Boys, I've been saying for a while, they're clearly the same thing as Antifa. Like, Antifa and Proud Boys just came up out of nowhere with Trump, and we're going to talk about that stuff on our Rockfin Premium.
So again, lying about Antifa. This is not just like one thing he did a long time ago. This is a pattern of active promotion of neo-Nazis, working with neo-Nazis, and promoting Nazi ideology. And I just want to point at the end here. When we debated, in that debate, was behaving in a transphobic manner, telling me that I should worship Tulsi Gabbard because she wrote a bill that, by the way, we found out she didn't even write. She had no, she just had no interest or relation to a bill whatsoever. So Tulsi Gabbard releases an anti-trans sports fucking bullshit 2 weeks before she leaves Congress. Niko House said that that's good, protecting women, and in our debate, Niko House said to me, a trans woman, that I should worship Tulsi Gabbard because she did such great things for trans people. And then after the debate, someone told me, oh yeah, by the way, that's a lie. That never happened. Right? So this guy is not only working with Nazis right now, not 5 years ago. This guy is transphobic to trans people, not 5 years ago, right now. And this guy is lying about anti-fascism, lying about Black Lives Matter, lying about Fred Hampton. Like, seriously. And this guy's gonna call me a Nazi because he found my fucking 4chan post when I was a fucking stupid, garbage fucking teenager. I'm sorry, but I cannot buy this shit. And if you fall for this, fucking bullshit, how dumb are you? Like, are you really that dumb? Because, goddamn. And again, I believe in change. And I want to say this right now. I'm not here to cancel Niko House. If Niko House wants to make a public apology for working with Jack Posobiec and make a public apology for smearing Fred Hampton as unifying with white supremacists, if he wants to make a public apology for these things and spend, in the next year or 2 years working on improving himself and educating himself, that's great. And I'm totally willing to give him that space. But he's not willing to give anyone else that space. So this guy is okay working with neo-Nazis, but he's willing to cancel someone for stupid shit they did as a teenager? I'm sorry. That is hypocritical and politically inconsistent. And this guy is a grifter, a psychological operation, and a Nazi collaborator, plain and simple. Stay mad, get triggered, and cry about it. Thank you.